What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP, Joe Paul. We are back in the motherfucking building. Haven't said that in quite a minute. No video for today. Honestly, don't have a camera right now, so don't even have to set that up. But that honestly, with the season being back, I'm hyped. Just finished watching this great game between the Wings and the Fever. I just felt the need to come out here, record something, and honestly, we'll throw it up and figure everything else after that. Cause I got some thoughts after today's game. Got some thoughts after today's game, season opener. The Wings come into Gamebridge, beat the Fever 107 to 104, and honestly, if I'm a Wings fan, I feel great following that game. Following that game, I would feel like we can score with probably just about anybody in the league. Our defense, needs some improvement. Our late game execution needs some improvement. But overall, if I'm the Dallas Wings, I feel great following this game. Feel great. Paige had a great game. Paige came out and had a very efficient 20 points. Actually, let me pull up her stats here. I'm always looking at the Fever stats. She had 20 points on 8 of 10 shooting, and she did green my bet. Appreciate that, PB. 8 for 10, very efficient game for Paige. I thought that coming out this game, she was going to be more aggressive, being like the more, shot hunter of the team. But, at the end of the day, Arike is going to do what Arike got to do. And Arike did what she does. She came out and gave you 22 points on 8 of 15 shooting, great efficiency, 3 of 7 from 3. And they really got contributions all over the place. Jessica Shepard came in, 13 points. Odyssey Sims, oh my God. I'm going to talk about Odyssey Sims later on because man, I'm so upset with the Fever. Um, Isaiah James, even though she fouled out, right? No, she did not. She did not foul out. Isaiah James came out and gave you 10 points. She had another just great game. Great job at guarding Caitlin Clark, making her uncomfortable. Caitlin, for some reason, just kept running off the screens and pushing people down. It was just great job by her, I guess. Yeah, Ozzy Fudd. Let's talk about Ozzy for a second. So I'm not gonna be Ozzy. I don't know what her name is. I'm not gonna be too hard on Ozzy here. You know what I'm saying? She came out, gave you three big ones, one and two from shooting, both 3 pointers. That's kind of who she is. For her to be, regardless of her where she was drafted, that's the player that she's been her entire career. She was never at UConn, breaking people down 1-on-1 or going down and making isolation points. She's a catch and shoot player. So, and honestly, for a team, this particular Dallas Wings team, I don't think that's the worst thing for them to have drafted. With other players that were in this draft class, I don't think they necessarily would have fit. Maybe if they had gone with a big or something, that could have been a route. But I think that what this team needs is a very solid 3-and-D shooter, a consistent 3-and-D shooter. And I think that over the course of the season, Ozzy's going to get there. She's a shooter, She's always been a shooter. She's got a very pretty form. And I think that she'll find her spots around Paige, around Arike, around Alana Smith and all these other players, great playmaker like Odyssey Sims. She'll find her way. Okay. Like I said, she'll find her way. She'll end up being a very impactful player for this Wings team. And this Wings team is very talented. They're a very talented team. I got to give them credit. I thought that the moves they made this offseason, they definitely made them better. But I think that it could have actually taken them to another level, well beyond where I think. Could they be potentially a playoff team this year? I have to see the rest of the other teams. But let's go ahead and break down who we actually want to talk about, and that's going to be the Indiana Fever. So for them to come out, season opener, first regular season back for Caitlin Clark, first regular season game back for Caitlin Clark. Aaliyah Boston still coming off that injury. I think it's just her second game from her injury. Lexi Hull still on minutes restriction. All those things considered, I think that the girls that came out, they played great. They came out, they played hard. Do they probably wish they could have made more shots? They feel like they had a lot of makeable shots that they just missed. A lot of great plays drawn up by Steph White to get people open. A lot of just great plays by Caitlin and Kelsey and Aaliyah Boston to just put pieces in places, and they just didn't. They didn't hit shots today. Down the stretch of the game, they have a chance to go out there and win. They have, or not win, but they have two chances to go out there and tie. Caitlin shoots a. Did we need a logo three in that particular situation? No, probably not. But it was a shot that Caitlin Clark is definitely comfortable making. A shot that I'm comfortable with Caitlin Clark taking. A shot that everybody on the team should be comfortable with. And she just ended up missing it. They ended up getting the ball back. Kelsey, she's been super efficient all day. She ended up giving up 30 points, a 30 ball, 50% shooting from the floor, 2 of 9 from 3, and that's honestly was the story of the day for the Fever. Honestly, they shot 7 for 24, only 30% from 3, and you don't expect that to continue. So let's go ahead and let's break down some things that I feel will and won't work going forward based off this first game. So we'll start with something that will work. I'm going to go with Steph White's offensive game plan and Caitlin Clark officially gelling at some point. So with Caitlin Clark being so hurt last year, she didn't really get a chance to, incorporate herself into the Steph White offense. And, the fans got very upset with Steph White, thinking that she didn't have really a offense that was really good for Caitlin to be able to be Caitlin and generate looks and get open shots and all this other stuff. But I think that in the end that it will, they only got the 13 games last year, and then literally Steph White had to change the entire script and go away from, this heliocentric kind of, I don't want to say heliocentric because it's not all around Caitlin, but, the situation where Caitlin has the ball in her hands primarily and everybody works around that. She was able to go into more, egalitarian style, just being able to dish the ball out from left and right and, making sure that everybody's getting a bunch of shots. And I think that definitely will work. For people who think that for some reason Caitlin Clark won't be able to thrive in a situation where everybody gets open shots, that's ridiculous. I only say it's ridiculous because Caitlin Clark is just, instead of her being the person that's creating the open look, they're just happening from, A-B handoffs, AP setting a screen for Sophie coming up, a flare screen coming off the top, things along those lines that just are easy, simple basketball movements that don't, require too much energy. They allow you to just go out there and flow and honestly just play the game of basketball. So I think that'll definitely just gel over the course of the season. Caitlin has to knock down her open shots. She has to knock down her open threes. The open threes are the ones that really killed us the most. She came out, she shot 2 for 9, and the 2 shots she made in the third quarter were, I think one was an open 3, but the other one was slightly contested by Paige, and she ended up shooting over. It's just like, if you have to envision that somebody is, in your hand, in your face every single time, Caitlin, then do that, because that's what we need. If Steph White's going to have this offense that's going to generate these looks and be able to put everybody in a position to have open shots, we got to knock them down. Also, Kelsey Mitchell, 2 for 9. Kelsey Mitchell took a lot. I feel like she took a lot tougher threes today, if I'm remembering correctly. She took some more off the dribble threes. But even so, we all believe that Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are better than 2 for 9 shooters. So I'm not gonna go too crazy about that. We got to knock down our open shots. Something that won't work, at least based off today's game, I'm going to have to go with Caitlin Clark's defense on the three-point line specifically. I don't think she was out there really getting killed. Down the stretch of the game, Odyssey Sims hit a tough shot on her. A couple other players were just hitting tough shots. These are professionals at the end of the day. I think at halftime there was a stat that said that the Wings were 6 for 6 when Caitlin Clark was the primary defender, which wasn't a great look. But specifically, though, that three-point defense was atrocious, especially in that second quarter. She lets people just shoot threes. Sometimes I didn't really watch the game back yet, so I'm not sure if she got lost. I'm not sure if she was just kind of helping too hard and thought she'd be able to get out in time and she couldn't. But her three-point defense in that first half was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. She left I think it was Isaiah James open for a couple threes. Maybe it was 3 threes. How many threes did Isaiah James hit? Isaiah James hit 3 threes. They were wide open shots. I'm pretty sure Ozzy Fudd at one point, she got a wide open shot. That's not the 3 that she hit, but that was another open look that she got. And at that point, I was just like, okay, Caitlin just doesn't think anybody can shoot. It's like Caitlin thinks that if she can't make a 3-point shot, then nobody can make a 3-point shot. I don't understand. It got a little bit better down the stretch of the game. There were a lot. The defense overall for Indiana got more aggressive towards the end of the game. Denying 3-point shots, which is fantastic. But they just. Yeah, after that first half, it was very, very rough. They put themselves in a rough spot. They were down 9 going into halftime. And they're a talented team. They were able to dig themselves out of it, but we can't be leaving out 3-point shooters like that. That's just unacceptable. All right, something that will work. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Them being the big 3, Caitlin, they have a true big 3. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, they are all legit. They're all superstars. If they were on different teams, they'd be the best player on those teams. It's just, they're amazing, especially these two specifically. Aaliyah Boston, for her to be coming off this injury and to come out and give you 23 points, she's really the only big out there that can do anything. 23 points, she gave you 3 steals, she gave you a block, really just out here just playing, doing it all. Down the stretch of the game, they probably could have afforded to go down to AB a little bit more because look how efficient she was. Caitlin wasn't efficient. She shot under 40%. Kelsey was efficient, but AB at 64%. You could do that all day, every day, and she's very, very strong down there in the paint. She's definitely grown into her body over these last couple of years, and just watching Aaliyah Boston grow over these 3 seasons from when she became, just an amazing Caitlin, pick and roll player with Caitlin Clark who could score in the post. Then, the next season she come out and they use her as a hub where she's like catching the ball in the middle of the paint, and she's, kind of, people are moving off of her. And now this season, she was bringing the ball up the court and hitting niggas with spin moves and going to the rim this game. Like, the sky is the limit for Aaliyah Boston. She is an absolutely amazing player, very deserving of the contract she signed over the offseason. Kelsey Mitchell as well. Everybody knows professional bucket. 30 points on 11 and 22. Like I said, we got to get that 3-point shooting percentage up, and we will. But, they came out and they did what they always do. Coming off last season where they were, it was basically just their team. It was Kelsey, it was Aaliyah, and then they had, the team that got built around them after the injuries and everything. They came out. If they have another great season, which I suspect they will, if you have 2-3 players giving you 20 points a game every single night, you'll be able to beat a lot of teams. All right, let's go with something else that won't work. Something else that won't work is probably going to be Lexi Hull being our sole perimeter defender. Love Lexi, but she can't hold down the entire perimeter defense all by herself. Like I was saying earlier, they did a little bit better of a job down the stretch of the game of denying people. They put Sophie back in the game. She played some very aggressive D. Michaela Tipson, I feel like she came out there. She gave some good, hard, solid minutes. But overall, like on the perimeter, I just don't think with us having a team that's spearheaded by Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, that's really a situation where we can only have, Lexi be our perimeter defender. We might need to get like a more versatile person at the 4 maybe that can kind of, guard on the perimeter, but it just won't work as it currently is. The players that we have right now, like that could potentially be Raven Johnson, but Raven Johnson, I was talking about this a little bit earlier. How tall is Raven Johnson? She's 5'8". I gave her 2 more inches than she actually had. So it's just tough for, to try to rely on like, a shorter player like Raven Johnson to be your, a stalwart on defense. Let me see before I tell you how tall is Lexi. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lexi is 6'2", long arms. Yeah, okay. I thought I was bugging for a second. But yeah, it's hard to kind of, try to put that on Raven Johnson to, be out there to guard the bigger perimeter players. Like last year and years prior, whenever we play against the Dream, Ryan Howard goes absolutely nuts against us. We can't do anything about her. I think it was 2 years ago also, Kalia Copper couldn't do anything against her, and we threw Lexi at her. Lexi was our best option. We threw her at her, and God bless Lexi. She did the best that she absolutely could. But when you're playing against uber athletic, talented players like that, Lexi she's as good as she is. She's not small, like she's frail. She's on the frailer side. You know what I'm saying? She plays very, very tough. She plays very, very hard. But overall, she is just not not strong. She's not as strong as she needs to be able to guard players like, like I said, Ryan Howard, Kalia Copper, players of that mold. So definitely we're gonna have to look to get another perimeter defender at some point during the season. Let's go ahead and keep the negativity rolling. We'll go down to our big depth. And by our big depth, I'm primarily talking about the Damiris Dantas minutes. Now, Dantas today had a great job. Her shot was falling, came out, gave us 3 for 4, 7 big points. We'll take that. Plenty of times where it felt like the game was kind of getting away from us a little bit. Dantas hit a shot to kind of keep us afloat. Great for trading baskets, but offensively, defensively, she doesn't give us anything. She came out, she had 5 fouls. She got a block, but I'm not here to shit on Dantas. I'm really here to mainly just say we need more depth in the paint. I think that every single Fever fan that pays a lick of attention will say, hey, we need more depth down low. Mo Billings didn't play tonight, which, understandable. She's got injured, I believe, in the last preseason game. So you expect her to come in and to help us to some respect. But I just think that overall, like the minutes that we're going to get when it's, Maisha Hines-Allen, who played pretty good today, or, we're waiting for some kind of ascension from Michaela Timpson. That's really honestly what can honestly be the X factor here. I actually said that pretty sure last season also, that Michaela Timpson really would be the X factor for the Indiana Fever. She's tall, she's strong, she can block shots, but she's got to play smart. She's got to play under control. Today, I feel like she played very, very well. She came out and had 11 points, very efficient, 5 of 6. If she's able to catch passes and finish layups, then that's all we need her to do. That's all we need her to do. She can go out there for 20 minutes. I was on Twitter. I said 15. Steph White played her almost 20 minutes today because AV's coming off has the minutes restriction, and she was impactful, and that's all we could really ask for, and that's all we really need on this team. So our big depth may very well just be Mo Billings coming back, and then Michaela Timpson, continuing to ascend. But if we're going to be relying on heavy minutes from Myisha Hines-Allen and Demiris Dantas, then I'm definitely a little less confident about the team going forward. All right, let's go back to a little bit more positive outlook. We're going to go with Raven Johnson's impact. So it's kind of hard to say that based off this particular game, only because, she had 4 points. She played 11 minutes. She was solid on defense, got you a steal. She had a solid floor game. I think that as the season goes on and she gets more minutes and Steph White figures out different ways to put Raven Johnson in place for her to be able to, thrive and whatnot, I think that her minutes will go up, and I think that her impact will be felt. I think that she is low-key a better scorer than we probably all expected her to be, just based off what I saw in the preseason. She does have the ability to hit shots, and that can definitely come in handy because we also will always be in the market of looking for somebody that can play make and also score. Especially with us having Kelsey Mitchell, who's just primarily a scorer. So I think that just as the season goes on, she gets more opportunities on the floor, find different lineups. I think the thing that kind of hurts her is her size. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. With her being only 5'8", she's not tall enough to play the 3. And when you have Caitlin Clark on the team who plays 31 minutes, and you have Kelsey Mitchell on the team who plays 33 minutes, there's not many minutes out there really for Raven Johnson to get. Not many minutes out there for Raven Johnson to get. So that's for Steph White to figure out, to find the best way for Raven Johnson to be out there to help the team. All right. And the last thing that I have that will work this season for the Indiana Fever is our big 3, bro, especially in the clutch. It's hard for any team to match with us having 3 of the top, 12? 3 of the top 12, top 10 players in the entire league on our team. That's something that's very difficult for them to keep up with, especially in the playoffs when you're talking about a playoff series. But just every single night having to deal with that much talent, we all believe that Caitlin Clark will get better as the season goes on. 7-18 shooting is not who she is. 2-9 from 3 is definitely not who she is. So as she gains more confidence in her legs, gains more confidence in her ability, I think that'll go up. Really, it's just the open ones. She has to hit the open ones. But down the stretch of the game, man, when you have a player that's as efficient as Aaliyah Boston, a scorer that just can score as effortlessly as Kelsey Mitchell, and somebody who just makes it easy for everybody like Caitlin Clark, there's really nothing that a lot of teams can do about that on the offensive end. Defensively, we're gonna have to figure some things out there, and I believe that we will. But as of right now, I think that our offense should be able to win us a lot of games if we're able to get timely stops down the stretch of these games. All right, and to cap things off, I'm going to tell you guys one thing that better work this season. That's Ty Harris. Tyasha Harris came out here today, played 4 minutes. I know she also was coming off injury. Gave us 2 points on 2. She gave us no points. Her plus minus was 2. She gave us no points in 4 minutes. Like I said, I understand she's coming off injury. I'm understanding that, she's a player that Steph White has coached before, and she's familiar with Steph White's system. But last season, we had Odyssey Sims on our team. And Odyssey Sims came out tonight and gave us 20 points. Only 2 assists, but she has the ability to play make. We saw that last season. If Ty Harris is not able to, I don't know what her role is going to be. I don't know if she's there to be a distributor just to keep the offense going, like a pure point guard. I'm not sure if she's there to be a defensive stalwart. I'm not sure what the goal there is, because I'm pretty sure she was also injured last season. So I don't know what exactly is going to happen there. But Odyssey Sims is already on our team. And Odyssey Sims has always given us work. Always given us problems. Doesn't matter what jersey she has on. Caitlin's rookie year, the game that's right before All-Star game where she broke the rookie assist record with 19 in one game. Odyssey Sims is the reason why we lost that game. I'm actually gonna pull it up because I'm invested now. I gotta find out. It was July of 24. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Odyssey Sims, 39 minutes, 24 points on 10 of 17 shooting, 3 of 17 from 3, dropped 9 dimes on our asses. She absolutely baked us. The Dallas Wings won 6 games that entire season. Caitlin Clark came out, gave you 24 points and 19 assists. AB came out here and gave out 28 points and 8 rebounds. And we lost that game because of Odyssey Sims. And we had the opportunity to bring her back. We had the opportunity to get one of our kryptonites out. Just have them be on our team, be an asset. And we picked Ty Harris, bro. And with that said, I got to say, it better work. Because if it doesn't, there will be hell to pay. With that said, I'm happy to be back. Happy that the WNBA is back. They had me shook a little bit with the CBA shit, but we are back. The season is back on, and the Fever are winning the chip. So make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace.